Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Grand Designs Imagine 2800BH. My name is Bear down at McLean's RV, and I wanted to show you all of the things that make this floor plan so incredible. Whether it's sleeping capability or storage that you're looking for, if you're in that around 30-foot travel trailer, this is something you need to check out. You can tell starting off with the double bunks, they're super large and expansive. Even if it was going to be fitting two adults in here, you can. Great thing is if you don't have visitors, you have the ability to lift that up for storage. Now, speaking of storage, it's kind of hard to see from here, but if you look at the top, it's a little bit easier to tell. Each bunk actually has a cubby built in with plugs. Cool thing is on this year's model, they made the lights dimmable. So you can turn those up or down, as well as the entire lights in the living room. You do have a nice touch control panel as well as hidden storage. They've upped all of the cabinetry to the soft closed doors, and I really like that they put on the little hooks here, whether it's for coats, your keys. A lot of people will miss this, but if you do look behind me, you'll see that they have the thin shades already installed in that door entryways window, so you can put that up when you do want a little bit more darkness or privacy. Speaking of, you've got curtains on both bunks and they're separated. In some older models and lower end, you'll only get one curtain, which is never great if you want to like close off gear or just one person wants their privacy. You have the ability to do that now. Going into the bathroom, one thing I do appreciate about Grand Design is that they're always going to use the porcelain toilets in their Imagines. So it gives you a little bit more space, and they've used an elongated toilet with plenty of leg room, right? It's a tankless water heater installed standard, as well as ceiling height wise. Remember, I'm 5'10. I'm not even into the ceiling, and the curved ceilings of the Imagine give you even more space with that added skylight. They have increased the level of quality and durability on their self-squeegeeing doors. This is a hydrophobic polymer, which is fancy speak for the fact that when the water gets on this, it's going to drain straight down and it squeegees itself, so you don't have to worry about mold or mildew. Again, they are coming standard with those blackout shades. It's really incredible to have something like that, especially in the Texas heat. Your vanity does open to give you a little bit of storage. And I really appreciate that they did the L shape here on the sink. Enough space to get your washing, or if you're doing like, brushing your teeth, stuff like that, you have space for it, and ample storage underneath the sink as well. Coming into the living room is where things start to get nicer and more important. First of all, I have to say I really appreciate what they did with the recliners. So older models used to have like a heat and massage function that the problem was the buttons were always open. Dogs and kids would turn them on. So everything got a little bit smarter. You have your USB push control here. You still have cup holders. And of course, don't just recline, but you'll lay almost completely flat. So if you're looking for that afternoon relaxation and nap, or you just want to watch the TV in a more reclined position, you can do it comfortably, and you got all sorts of power plugs. If you do need a full computer, you've got the actual 110 plugs here on the wall as well. Now, coming down further, what I really like is they did this U-shaped dinette. Now, you can see the configuration I put it in. So this little removable ottoman is awesome. One, storage, but two, you can put it on either side of the table. The table's completely removable. You can take it out. It's good to store as well down in the bottom position so that you can turn this into a bed. But what I appreciate by them doing this is if you have visitors, if you want people to actually sit here with you, no one has to be stuck inside against the wall and against the table. You can have room no matter what size you and your guests are. Each one does have storage underneath, and it's pretty ample, good amount of room. Again, I'm really impressed that they, even on these, put the soft close. Your upholstery's gotten a little bit nicer on this year's model, and I do like these are some fancier lights than I've seen in previous years. Now, that's the living room. We got to come over to the kitchen side, though, and we're going to start kind of in the entertainment area and make our way back. But what I really love is storage, right? So we got drawers underneath the bunks that are going to open, but check this out. Look under your TV. They added the rolling cabinet here. So this is huge. You can use this as a pantry. You can use this for extra clothes. The great thing is Grand Design's not going to tell you what to use it. They're just going to give you the space, right? And again, soft close. You do have extra storage for, TV devices, whether it's a gaming console or if you want to use your speaker system, it is controlled here. And then you have a giant drawer. I mean, look at this. This is insane. So this one's going to be going into your fuses and your breaker panel. But check these out, right? Giant drawer, and then the biggest one I've seen in an RV in a long time. I love the little pegs in here. So if you have different shaped kind of pots and pans, they're not moving around when you're driving on the road. But that's a huge benefit that a lot of people don't think about. They are still giving you the oven option. So you can actually cook in here. You got a 3 burner as well as your regular microwave. Um, if that wasn't enough, you do have a 12-volt fridge. I love 12-volt. That means as soon as you turn the battery on, you can keep this going down and cooling while you're on the road. Cool. Again, more drawers, more storage. And then I really like how big they made this space. So if you need to get deeper or under your sink, you have the ability. Speaking of the sink, they did increase the quality here. So I don't know if I'd call this like stainless steel or almost like a graphite material, but I really love the texture, and you can see it's actually better angled. I wish I had those marbles they use on TikTok videos to show you everything drains cleaner. You do now have the soap dispenser, and I love the blacked out faucet. Also in the kitchen, you do have another one of those wireless charging stations where it'll pop up if you need to get into direct USBs if you can't use the wireless. You have plugs, and I like they cleaned up the backsplash on your counter. Again, tons of cabinetry, tons of storage. Remember, soft close. And the cool thing is Grand Design uses real wood on their doors. I like that. Speaking of doors, you do have a pocket door going from the living room area to the master. It's on a sliding channel here, which gives that extra sense of security and of privacy for the master bedroom. The greatest thing on this too is what you'll notice is you're seeing probably a lot of light coming from the side here. There's actually an extra door to enter or exit the RV strictly from the private bedroom. I love this. If you have your bedroom and you don't want people to see your stuff, I'm lazy. If I don't want to make my bed, I don't have to. I can keep this door closed, can go in and out of that entryway, and no one ever has a reason to go into your bedroom. But speaking of things that are in your bedroom, though, that do help the rest of the area, we do have that second AC. Now, coming from Grand Design, that is an option, but what I'll tell you is McLean's, as a dealer based out of Texas, we know how hot it gets in the summer here, so we're always going to order it with our second AC. It is incredible, and the best part is, unlike some of your low-end brands, this is fully ducted. What that means for you is if you're in the RV and using it in the summertime, right, you can actually close these ducts, and you're going to get all the extra AC power going into the living room. That's a huge thing, especially for people who like do extended stay, full-time traveling, or if you're really like traveling in the summer when you're in that heat. Again, the blackout shades don't stop. They're continuous all the way through the RV. And nice thing too is this bed that I'm on, right? So this is an actual queen size mattress. It's a true 60 by 80. It's not a short queen, so when you lay on this, your feet won't be dangling. You have closets on both sides, extra drawers and storage. Storage underneath the bed is actually quite substantial. Now, this little thing, when I first joined, I was surprised about this, but it makes sense when you think about it. So you can store underneath it, and then you just slide it out of the way if you need to get on that side. Really love that feature, and I really like what they've done. You have reading and reading lights up above that you can use, as well as the cubbies on both sides for people to store. You have an extra plug down on this side as well if you needed like more power and utilities. And again, cool things that I haven't mentioned so far. We're going to make our way back into the rear, and I'll tell you a few things that we passed. So first, these are heat vents. Grand Design takes them all out of the floor. Everything's put into the side of your walls and your cabinetry. That makes it easier for you to get the heat without dust or dirt or debris going into your heat vents. Cheetos, don't ask me how I know it, smell really bad if you drop them in that vent and it turns on. Other thing to talk about with the floor is you'll notice that this whole area here is on what's called a slide, right? People don't always know about slides and talking to the masses, but if you think that's funny, I'm sorry. The cool thing though is this flooring, what they've done on some of your other manufacturers, when the floor is on a slide, it sits up about 2 inches. And what will happen is that's what I call a toe kicker. So they took the flooring, and what's actually underneath that you can't see in the construction is that they channel the floor so the slide goes out like this, down, and sits flat and level. They use the same style flooring on the slide itself as the floor that you're in. So it's so much more seamless, less likely to slip, less likely to kick your toe on it, and it just looks better. Couple things to mention on the outside that make Grand Design different. First, look how big this grill is. You also have that outdoor fridge. Love that for when you're out and camping. But something that a lot of people don't notice, see, this door is actually going to be heat shield protected. That's why it's not white like a lot of those fiberglass doors that you lift up as well. It does have the storm magnet on it, so you're never going to break the latch if you pull it down fast. Coming around the side though, you also have a spray port here, which means that if you need to cook and clean, you can wash things off. It'll come with a little hose. All right. In addition to that, you do have an awning that goes almost the whole length of the RV. It stops right before the bedroom door. That's going to come all the way out with an LED light to keep you bright in the darkness, as well as keeping you shaded in the sun. Again, you do have screen doors both on this side and on the master. Grand Design's using the solid steps. I love that it even says Imagine on it. These are great for those who need a little bit more mobility access. And then, of course, you have the floating stairs for gaining access to the bedroom. Gives you kind of both, and if you wanted, we can always change those to that one as well here at the dealership level. Coming up to the front storage, it is massive. You could probably fit an entire 3 people in here. I could climb in there. It's diamond shield protected, and of course, just like always with Grand Design, they don't cheapen out. The framing is aluminum going through the pass-through as well as the rest of the RV. On the other side, there's some cool things to talk about. Of course, the front cap, you can tell it's on the newer years because it has that compass on there. And I love the rock shield built in, but Nautilus system, very simplified. Outdoor shower, water goes in. There's a porthole here so you can keep your door closed. Bring a heated hose in there during the winter. This whole bay is heated. In addition to that, you have your battery disconnect as well as solar. So you can see your solar reader here. It's not reading because we're not plugged into a proper battery at the moment, but you can disconnect it there. It is prepped for tire pressure monitor, and it has a little light in here for when you're using it on the road. In addition to that, speaking of lights and stuff like that, underbelly, you do have a sewer hose holder. It is the stabilizer jacks, and then in the rear, we're going to have your dump station. It's a super great RV. Look at the outside. I really like what they did this year with the decals. It's cleaner, it's brighter, and man, you can't find a better RV. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot to say. Grand Design is known as being one of the best quality RV manufacturers that you're going to find. And when you come to McLean's, you're going to get that service both from the manufacturer and the dealer. If you're looking for great service in an RV that you couldn't beat, come on down and check this out. My name's Bear, and we'll see you soon.